Hello, everybody. The top 10 countdown of 2023 continues. Last time we did modern, this time vintage. Hopefully a little more interesting to people that typically follow my channel. I think it will be. It's more interesting to me, so that tells me it's what I'm a little more into. So let's check it out. To rank these, usually I try to think about how excited I was to get it and where it fit in my collection and maybe what kind of deal I got on it or my state of mind when I bought it. And these top 10 lists, typically they're not the most expensive cards I bought necessarily, but just what I liked the most from what I got. So let's get started. Number 10 vintage acquisition by yours truly this year was this 1958 Topps Curt Flood. I was very happy to add that when I decided to do a Trailblazers row in my case. Curt Flood was one of the first people that came to mind, and this is just a really beautiful card. I love the greenness of the background. Juxtaposed to the red nameplate and the yellow and the Cardinals logo. Just a really beautiful card. Number 9 was this 1955 Armor Coins Harvey Haddocks. And this is the wide gap version. And these come in wide gap, narrow gap, and in several different colors. I detail that in my video during Harvey Haddocks Appreciation Month. Check it out there if you want to see one of the 3 videos that I talked in detail about these armor coins. I was really happy to get that. They're pretty expensive for, something that small, I guess, and with that many variations. So I haven't really added any others, even though I want to. Number 8 is a 63 Topps Peel-Offs Brooks Robinson. I haven't set my goals yet for 2024, but I'm thinking I really need to up my Brooks Robinson collection, because for someone that's a fan of his, I have an embarrassingly few vintage cards of his. There we go. Number 7 is a Z-Nut card of Veen Gregg, who was one of the early players born in Washington State to play Major League Ball. He also has a Cracker Jack card. It's a bit out of my budget right now, but it's definitely on my long-term hit list. But I was really happy to get the Z-Nut card for now, especially since it doesn't come up very often, and it shows him in a Seattle uniform. Veen Gregg. Number 6, back to the Harvey Haddocks collection. This is the 59 Topps Venezuelan. And the reason I was so excited to add this, first off, the back is what you would typically expect to see on a Venezuelan. But the reason I was so excited to add this is because they really just don't come up very often. There's only been a few ever listed on eBay. And the one that's slabbed has an X right through his face. Somebody wants, I forget, over $100 for it. But I wouldn't even consider it, because that's a non-negotiable for me, is when someone has markings on their face. So I got this one way more beat up and typical of a Venezuelan card for a fraction of what the nicer, those back pages, air quotes, for a fraction of what that one costs. So really happy to get that one. Number 5 is a trade card. I think this set is usually called Forbes, but it's this home run guy, and right now it's off for grading, so I don't have it here, but it's off at SGC. But I just love how quirky and weird this card is, and I knew the minute I saw it, I had to have it. So I added that to my collection and can't wait to see it in a SGC slab. Number 4, I went into this year wanting to add a vintage Ernie Banks card to my collection because he has so many nice cards. And I believe I found one of the nicest ones, criminally undergraded, not that it matters to me, as a PSA 3. This is the 58 Banks, and look at the color on that. You practically need some sunglasses to take a look at Ernie Banks. Very happy and proud to own that. Not sure how it didn't get higher on my list, but that's because there's a lot of cards here I really like. Number 3, you saw this a couple weeks ago in my very last mail day of the year. The 54 Bowman Larry Doby. Love that you get a nice chunk of the stadium there. And I didn't have any other Hoffers for 54 Bowman. So I was really happy to get this, and it's the perfect card. And that is also in my Trailblazers or Pioneers row, along with the Flood, as you might imagine. Number 2, we're getting down there now. Another guy I wanted to add this year just because I really like him. And this particular card I just really love, and I'm happy to get a copy. It's the 56 Topps Warren Spahn, and something about the angle in which they took the picture. He's sort of towering over you, and yet he has this sort of unassuming face, and the angle of the bleachers behind him and the cloud, and just everything about this card works for me, and I really love it, and I was really happy to add it to my collection. Number 1. So I talk about how excited I am to add things, being sort of what I use to determine where I put them. And I was no more excited this year than to add this T218 Joe Jeanette card. A couple reasons why this particular card I wanted so badly. Not only do I make the set, but this is not mentioned on the label. It's not mentioned anywhere on PSA website. It's not mentioned anywhere on SGC. It's hardly mentioned at all, but this is a very rare error with his name misspelled on the back. Should be Jeannette. And it wasn't even known, this error wasn't even known to exist until 2018 when someone discovered it. So a lot of times it'll get listed, it'll fall through the cracks, or people just don't realize they have an error. And I really have not seen many of these at all. I think just 3 in total on eBay, and the whole time I've known about this card. And Jeanette's my favorite boxer to collect, and I was just really happy to add it because it's, I think, the only major boxing card I got this year. And I said I was going to get some boxing this year, and I did. So at least I'm not a liar, in 2023 anyway. So that's it for the vintage recap. What speaks to you here? I obviously have very eclectic tastes here. That's part of the chaos, Eddy's cardboard chaos. But what do you think's kind of got the coolness factor going on here? Let me know below. And until next time, remember, we don't count subscribers, we count friends.